I remember when I got my first check from that $5,000 issue paid business, and it was like $600. And I said, Michael, I have $600. Should I pay this bill or should I buy leads? And I'm pretty sure it was very hard for Michael to say, like, buy the leads, but
Yes.
he knew. Yeah, he knew that it wasn't going to hurt me because he believed in me. So because I was able to reinvest into leads, Chris, my second month I issue paid $8,000. My third month I tripled it. I went to 24 grand issue paid.
Hey team, welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. We have a very special episode, a special guest from Orlando, Florida. And I'll tell you what, I've appreciated every conversation that I've had with KB. This is Kaitlyn Barber. We call her KB. And she is a force in this industry. She's made a huge impact. I'm going to give her a chance to speak to it. But one of my favorite things about KB is her story. And I feel like one of her great strengths is command. Not a lot of people have this strength, command. So I want you guys to hear. I want you to pay attention to her story, her journey, and the way KB speaks. It makes a big difference. So, guys, welcome. I know you are in your car, so keep both hands on the wheel if you're listening. But if you're taking notes, this would be a great one to take notes. Welcome, KB, Kaitlyn Barber, to the podcast. Hey, KB, it's so good to have you finally on the podcast.
Oh, I am so excited to be here, Chris. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that introduction. It was so phenomenal.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So, let's get into this. You have such an amazing, unique story, and I love to hear the origin story. It's almost like hearing a superhero origin stories. My journey into this space was unexpected. I think a lot of people who enter insurance, it is unexpected. For me, there was a transition in the market. I had to find something else to do. I found something that fit into my skill set and ran with it. Love what I do. I love this industry. It's made a huge impact on my family. And I know you have your own origin story. And I know, this is the cool thing I know about it, is it will speak to a specific audience. And probably an audience that may not be aware that they can find their place in this space. So enough prelude. Okay. So tell us, who the heck is Kaitlyn Barber?
Wow. Well, where do I start? Let me take us back to when I was fresh out of high school, family. I was actually a young mom. I had my first son, family, at 17. And I tried to do the college thing. I knew that I needed to go to school so I could secure a safe and secured position for me and my son at that time. And I realized as time went on, that route just truly wasn't for me. And it was hard for me because being in school, also have to get a job, but you have no time for your child and you don't have money to pay the babysitter. So it just didn't work out. So as time went on, family, I have two sons. I became a mother of two before 20. And I had to learn very early on that I have to make a change and I have to change the trajectory of our family tree. And I told myself that I didn't want to be a statistic to the system, that young mom who had a kid early and had to depend on the government for maybe food assistance or public housing or EBT. I didn't want that to define me just because I, had my children early. So I turned 21 years old, family. right? And I got into network marketing. The first
Okay.
company that I was introduced to, Chris, was a credit repair network marketing company. At the
Mm.
time of joining, Chris, I had no idea it was a network marketing company. I just knew that it was an opportunity to be in business and to offer credit services.
Let me ask you a question about this, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
When you hear something like that, in the experience you had, you're a young mom. You got two in diapers, right? And your college isn't what you thought it would be. What were you working to put food on the table? Like what other jobs had you worked before?
That is actually a great question. So to take it back there really quick, family, I was actually working in like fast food joints and
Mm,
like retail. So
yeah,
clothing stores, like folding clothes or cash registering, checking out the guests. So
yeah.
that's all I did. I worked at Pandora at 16 years old. My first job was at Sonic at 15, and then
Mm,
Pandora at 16. And then at 17, I worked at three other stores inside of that mall. But
wow.
I just realized like the $8 an hour, Chris, like
Oh, how
I
many
was
hours you gonna have to work, right?
right.
There's
Exactly.
only so many hours.
Yes.
Wow. When you, because I kind of have an idea of you, your nature. Um, when you were working those jobs to get by, how were you seen as an employee? Like what were they saying about you as a young Kaitlyn Barber and the work that you were doing?
Wow, that is a really good question. You know, as time went on, I started to think about that, like my position for in that environment with those individuals, right? My position as that cash register or as a hostess, I worked at Cheddar Scratch Kitchen. I love the croissant honey butter rolls.
Yes, yes. That's
And
funny. You mentioned like Lisa loves Pandora. I love tater tots. I love from Sonic. Like you're naming it all the best places. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
so,
So
you
you were
know,
doing the work. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. Yeah. So I remember being in those environments, and I believe it was that last job I had. I was 19 years old at Cheddar's, and I worked as
Mm,
a hostess for about a year and a half. And I remember it was around COVID, family. And
mm,
I remember like things shut down, but things were still kind of open. So we were able to take in a certain guest in the restaurant, but everyone had to separate themselves booths apart. You can't sit booth to booth, right? Because it's COVID. You have to
yeah.
protect yourself, and we're just opening back up.
Mm,
And I just didn't feel as if I belonged here. At that time of my life, Chris, I knew I was meant for more than to
mm,
be managed at $8 an hour, $9 an hour, barely
right.
$10 an hour. I knew in my heart, Chris, for a very long time, this can't be my destiny where I'm at.
Mm. So if I asked 19-year-old KB,
Mm,
if I asked, how much are you worth? If we were looking at an annual income or an annual salary,
mhm.
if I asked you that at 19 years old, what would your answer be?
How much I was earning or what I thought my
No,
worth was.
your worth was at
Oh,
that age.
I just felt like I deserved at least 100,000,
Yeah.
6 year salary.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, right? You're like,
Yes.
it's there. How do I get there? How do I reach that space? Because I see other people have that, right? So the network marketing thing comes, and when you hear something like that, describe describe that moment and what you heard that was different than the jobs you had.
Mm. I heard legacy.
Mm,
I heard impact. I heard,
mm,
sacrificing. And I heard change. Like you can have change. Like the person you were or where you come from does not have to be your identity on who you are today. And I not only heard it, Chris, but I got the opportunity to see it.
wow, that's powerful.
Mm.
So there was, and I'm guessing somebody introduced you to that opportunity. They
Yeah.
they they must have saw a level of performance. Was it a friend or was it like somebody like who you served?
Actually, it was a friend of mine at the time's, her fiance's mother. So technically her mother-in-law. She was like, hey, you're a single mom. She was, with her fiance, they were together. They, as a family, a community, a union. And she saw me struggling on my own, no support, no help besides mom and dad. I have to give them their credit when it's due because they were there. But she was like, I believe this would be great for you because my fiance's mom has had change. She had the kids. She now has a bit, at the time I was young, at 21, I heard Mercedes Benz. I was like, wow. Now I'm like, okay, it's still cool, but it's not, that's not the end goal, right?
You got Bentley on your mind, right?
Absolutely. So I got to see it and she brought me around and she took me to the events. I got to ride in the car. I got to feel it. I got to see it. Yeah. And my vision started to just grow so large.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career.
I love this, and I'd love to hear the slight. I say, there are people who enter our lives and they just turn our shoulders just a little bit, and it changes what we can see, and it changes our perspective in such a profound way.
Yes.
And so you entered into the space. How long were you there? Did you find success? It sounds like you did. You did pretty good, I'm guessing.
Well, I joined in 2021, the year of 2021. We're in 2025 now, family.
Yeah.
At that year, I was freshly turning 22. I'm now 26, okay? Just to show you it's possible. It doesn't take years, okay?
Right.
It just took a amount of commitment, and we'll get there in a little bit. But my first year in, I made sure I showed up. I went to the events. I went to the communities. I was on the Zoom calls, and I wanted success so bad. There was other young women and young men and gentlemen that changed their story, went from working at the bank for 20 years to now $1 million earners, running an organization of over 2,000 agents. That made me happy. That made me excited, and I strived. So I went sales director my first year and a half in that company. All that means is I was able to collect 30 downlines. Okay. Sharing the opportunity.
Right.
And then the company got shut down by a Federal Trade Commission. As you guys know, network marketing is regulated by the FTC. Okay. So I guess there were some things happening, some, complaints made, and they had to do an investigation. This was in the year of 2023, family, and my heart broke.
Oh, I bet. Wow. The opportunity just disappears overnight.
It went away.
Wow. So now you're back to maybe not back to square one, because felt like it, but there's a new mindset now. Like this Kaitlyn, 2021 Kaitlyn is not going to go to Cheddar's. No offense, great croissants, but you're not going to go back to that. You can't go backwards. Your eyes are set beyond. Now, 2021, if I asked Kaitlyn, KB, what annual salary are you worth?
At that.
Has it changed? from 19 years old?
I believe it did. The annual salary worth changed when I was introduced to network marketing. I now realize that I deserve to be a multimillionaire.
Okay. So now now it's a whole different conversation. Would you like fries with that? Like it's a whole different conversation. And this is an important conversation of growth and progression. And it's just not financial. If you could, before we get into the insurance conversation.
Absolutely.
Where did you feel like you saw the most growth that you experienced in a result of the relationships and opportunity, just engaging in a new opportunity and being an entrepreneur? Where did you see the most growth for you?
Wow. I seen the most growth for me in the days where, Chris, I didn't financially have it. I seen the most growth for me, Chris, when the money was not there. And the reason why I say that, family, is because I didn't tell you guys where in 2021, I was, obviously I didn't tell you guys this. I was living with my child's father. We had children together and we separated. I got on a plane and I got on the plane with the kids, went home, and I never looked back, right? Meaning I had to move into mom's house. I want you guys to hear this. 21, had 2 children. I was devastated. I'm like, Mom, I felt horrible. Like, I have these kids. I'm here in your space. This is your equilibrium. I moved out. I'm back. I just felt like horrible. But then I started to be actually thankful, grateful, and started to realize that this was God ordained for my life, Chris. Because in those opportunities, in those conversations, we started to talk a lot about like mindset, spiritual, like how to properly believe, because sometimes we'll go through past, right? Like me having those kids at a young age. If you guys, know, like if you hear my story, you'll find out that I felt like the worst person in the world. For religious reasons, for spiritual reasons, outside of just, being a young parent. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot behind that. So I say all that to say, family, when I was home, I realized God ordained this for my life, and it allowed me to learn and grow in that time. So in that time where the money wasn't showing, Chris, I didn't see the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $40,000 months, but I did have God, and I had my 4 walls at my mom's house, and I picked up books. I listened to audios. I found out about John Maxwell and Rick Warry and Eric Thomas and, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the 48 Laws of Power. It's not the best book, but it's pretty cool. Your first year in network marketing. I mean, I was exposed, Chris, and it grew me. Even the money wasn't there, but I grew. I wanted it that bad.
I love it. And, I think you're speaking to something very, very important. Yeah. That the things that hold people back isn't money. We feel like it's money. If I only had money, it would change everything. Yeah. But there are, I'll just say strongholds in our lives that can be a lack of forgiveness. And like we're so focused, and maybe ourselves or somebody else, we're so focused on this thing, we can't look towards the future. Or it's guilt and shame. We're so focused on the what we would consider a life-altering mistake or a mistake, and we aren't able to look towards what's possible or what we could learn from these moments and move forward. So I hope there are people who are listening who can identify, maybe they're on the front side of this and they're deciding, or they're at a place of deciding and moving into something that will challenge them more. I hope there are some young ladies who maybe haven't ever heard of the hope of something. So, and they're kind of saying, man, there's something about KB. Maybe I should talk to her. Maybe I should have a conversation with KB, because I'm worth more than $9 an hour. I'm worth more than 6 figures. I'm worth more than multi-millions. Like when you really discover your worth and you start acting like that person, holy cow, amazing things happen. Let's talk about that. And and your entry to insurance. And I want to talk about some of the influence and impact you're currently having now. But let's talk about that shift and how you entered into insurance and what you saw for yourself.
Wow. I've been so excited to talk about the insurance. This industry has wholly and heartedly completely changed my life. And when I told you guys that network marketing company was shut down in 2023, there was a blank space of me trying to figure out, what do I do now? Do I want to go back network marketing? Should I go back to a 9-to-5? What should I do? And I came across an individual, a gentleman, and he was in the industry before. He sold life insurance before. He had a lot of experience. And I was having a conversation, and he was like, you know what? If you never want to be broke another day in your life, go get your life insurance license. And I was like, really? Okay, well, let me go sign up right now. Okay, within 30 days, I was a licensed agent. But my first 9 months, I did nothing, Chris.
He didn't know what you had in your hands, I'm guessing.
I was connected in with a company that wasn't conducive for my success. It wasn't the way that a young mom, single mom, somebody who's always on demand and command, right? Somebody who's a leader in their home, who's a provider of their home. I lead my home. I provide for my home. I run my home like a business, right? So I say all that to say that industry was advanced market, which is cool. But as a brand new life insurance agent, in my opinion, waiting 6 weeks for a paycheck, 2 weeks for a check, 3 years. As a single mom, I need money now and fast. That's when I got connected with Michael and Jalen.
Just so I'm clear on this.
Yes.
You said that's when you met Mike and Jalen and you got into the final expense space. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And so there was a shift. You were waiting. What type of insurance was it you were selling? Was it you said, was it more fully underwritten type of products? What were you doing before you met Mike and Jalen?
Yeah. So when I got that license, I was a part of a 3-letter agency that the organization and the agency I was a part of was like, you just need to go talk to your friends and family in warm market.
Oh,
but I come from network marketing, and that's not a duplicable way to build your business. And as a single mom, like 2-3 months in, I'm like, oh, you want me to sell an IUL? You want me to ask somebody $500 a month for a product that I don't even understand? This just wasn't good for me.
Yeah. So when you saw final expense, what made it more attractive or more duplicatable? What was it you saw in the differences of opportunity?
Great question. So the differences in opportunity for me, when it came down to the final expense industry to any other space in the life insurance field, was the fact that I get paid on issue. I love that. That I can help individuals between the market that I love servicing. Can I be honest? I might be young, but I don't want to service young people. They're indecisive sometimes. They they have to think about a term policy because they're 29 and they don't think they're going to pass soon. Honestly, I realized that I prefer to be in a market of individuals that really need this. And I found that final expense industry was the way to go.
So high demand, plenty of people to see, lead-based. So you want to make more money, you get more leads, you have more conversations. And like you said, it's paid on issue, or at least on draft in some cases. So it's really about turning on and off the faucet of how much money you want to make based on your commitment in your activity. Would you agree with that?
Amen. Absolutely.
Okay. And how did you do, or how have you done? I'm guessing you're sold like 1 or 2 policies a week and figured out how to afford the macaroni and cheese.
Well, we'll get into that. So I had a big hurdle to overcome as a new life agent because I was still living at home and I had really no income at this point. All I had was belief.
Yeah.
And I understood that in the industry that I signed up for, because I wanted to, that I was going to be on the phones, and I knew that I needed to contact leads. So I knew that an investment was involved. But I did have a fear, and a hurt will come over, as far as being on the phones with dealing with rejection, dialing. I've never dialed, fear, learning underwriting, like money management with these advances. But I had to realize that every no that I was going through in those early stages brought me closer to a yes. So if I can be very transparent, my first 30 days here with Mike and Jalen, here with Lasting Mark, it was eye-opening for me, Chris. I was able to assist, maybe 6 or 7 families, and I was able to deposit $5,000 my first month, and I was blessed, thankful, and grateful for that.
Yeah. That learning curve is so important. And I don't think you're describing anything that any other agent doesn't feel. Like I am shaking. When I started, I didn't have savings. I had a gray Discover card that I put into the lead machine, hand shaking, put it into the lead machine. These leads came out, and they didn't come out till 3 weeks later. So I had to pay week 1, week 2, week 3. Leads come out, go and talk to these people face to face, knock on doors, and do all that stuff. And you said there's belief, there's faith. You believe that you have a product that people need. You believe that there's a market for this product. And the one that I think agents really have to go through, that you figured out, is you have to believe that you are the person. You, no one else. You are the person who can make a difference in these clients' lives. And getting through, it's almost like I say it's a rocket ship. You've left gravity. The force has not changed. Gravity is working, and your rocket ship is shaking because it's fighting gravity. And you're like, is this for me? Is this for me? And
Yes.
$5,000 deposit. I love what you said. Blessed, because it funded your education to get through the learning curve, right?
Yes.
So first 30 days, what happens next for you in your journey?
Yes. And wow, my next journey here, at those first 30 days, again, I got through that fear, I got through that rejection. And I believe really quick, Chris, that, and if anyone is watching this, it's so important to know what the definition of believe means, because it's going to be hard to believe for what you want if you don't know that definition, family. And for a long time, I want you to know I've struggled with belief. So if you are hearing this and you're still on the edge, like, I don't know if this is for me. No, this is for you, because I struggled wholly and heartedly with self, with belief, with identity. And I was able to discover that when I first was able to understand belief vocabulary, dictionary.com means to accept something as true. That's all it means. So if I can accept as true that I will be successful, if I can accept as true that I can do this, if I can accept as true that I will assist 5 families this week, then it's going to happen, because believing just means to accept something as true. Subconsciously, if I can accept that as true, now it's here because my body, my mind, my brain, my activity has showed up in that belief daily. So those next 30 days, family, I showed up the same. I didn't have money for leads. I had to always ask my upline for help. Michael, I really want to do this. Can you give me some leads? I have a little bit, I have like $300. And then I remember when I got my first check from that $5,000 issue paid business, and it was like $600. And I said, Michael, I have $600. Should I pay this bill or should I buy leads? And I'm pretty sure it was very hard for Michael to say, like, buy the leads, but he knew. He knew that it wasn't going to hurt me because he believed in me. And it's so important to have an upline to believe in you.
That's so good. And I want you to hear that, because if Mike didn't believe in you when you asked for that advice, it would have been different advice.
It would have
been like, you probably need to pay the bill.
Pay the bill.
But he did believe in you. That's really good stuff. I'm glad you're saying that.
Yeah, because when you come in and you start making, a check, you're in life insurance. Now you're not getting paid every 2 weeks. You might get paid every other day or every 3 days. And for some people, they get in this industry, and I don't know if I'm going too far ahead. I hope I'm not. And they get a check or two, but they don't reinvest back into self and business to keep the flow going. So my first 30 days, guess what, family? To get into that second 30 days of conquer, I had to take some of that money I made, not pay off debt. I've already was in debt for 4 years. It's not going to hurt to be in debt for
They'll still be there.
It's okay. Like, don't take our money in life insurance and go pay off all your debts, which you should. Biblically, you should. However, we're trying to get ourselves back on our feet. So if you're a mom, if you're someone listening to this and you're coming from a space where you don't really have money, you're not transitioning into this industry already wealthy, already making $10,000 a month. You're hearing this transitioning. Maybe I'm only at $4,000 a month. Maybe I'm only at $3,000 a month. And I know what's possible for self. So because I was able to reinvest into leads, Chris, my second month I issue paid $8,000. My third month I tripled it. I went to $24,000 issue paid.
Nice.
Third month,
very good.
90 days.
24,000 from $9 an hour to issue paying 24,000 in a month. If you don't mind, what has been your best month production wise with you and your team now? I'm just really fast forwarding. What have you celebrated together?
Our biggest month so far that we've celebrated was 111 applications submitted. 111 applications submitted 1 month.
And that's with the team that you're leading currently.
Correct. Yes.
So 111,000 issue pay. I don't know if you said the number. Was it 100,000 issue pay? Is that about right? Or is that, it's submitted. Was it 100,000 submitted at this point?
130,000 submitted. Issue pay. I wouldn't be able to I don't want to, I just know for sure we did our biggest month, we did 111 apps together collectively, 130,000 in sales together collectively.
Okay. That is so exciting. You see this upward trend in your journey, going from single mom is trying to figure it out, put food on the table, working $9 an hour jobs, to leading an organization that's going to produce over $1 million a year. That's in what's the time frame there? Roughly 5 years. Is that right?
No, it happened in from my, I guess, entrepreneur 2021, my first jump in, but I did that in 9 months, 12 months in life insurance.
Yeah. That's incredible. 9 months. But the KB story here of this journey as a whole is about a 5 years development to be the person who can produce this in 9 months.
Correct. Yes. And that's important, family. Please hear that. It's important to know wherever you're at. Don't look at yourself and say, well, if I'm not where I want to be in 12 months, I'm giving up. I'm not deserving and I'm not worthy. I want you to know that Ronald McDonald, Ray Kroc, the owner of McDonald's, didn't start that business until years of his life, right? Walt Disney, the owner of Disney, it took him years to develop that. So it's not fair for us to join an industry or a business opportunity and expect to have success in a matter of time. It's only fair to be graceful with yourself and to have integrity in self every day and work through that daily to be able to achieve and get to those goals you need. So please understand, it takes time. It really does.
You said a word. I've heard other leaders use it, and it's grace. You said gracefulness to yourself.
Yes.
Giving yourself the slack to know that you're going to make mistakes. Kaitlyn, I don't know about you, and maybe you can share one of these, but for me, like my first door knock, I knocked loud enough that I hoped nobody answered. Like I literally, like it was such a soft knock. Like I should have worn mittens, but and that sit was horrible. It was such an embarrassing sit. And you have to have that. Like every single person has to have that moment because you have to make adjustments along the way for success.
Yeah.
So maybe you're seeing that now, like in your training and coaching agents. What are some things that you're seeing from agents who are coming in, common adjustments that have to be made for agents? And honestly, I'm guessing percentage wise, how many of the agents on your team are young ladies?
90% of my organization is women.
Yes.
I have a few men and they're awesome, but
you can tell us, yeah.
90% are the ladies. Yeah.
So what are some common things that need to be overcome for new agents who are entering into the space from your experience and also from the coaching conversations that you're having?
Wow, this is really good. And it's the free things, Chris. It's actually the free things in life that a lot of people are not willing to do. Meditation, being graceful within self. That doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost a thing to pick up a book about mindset, to change my mind about, oh, I didn't make a sale today. That's okay. Like, I'm not going to beat myself up because I had integrity in self today. So because I have integrity in self, I'm going to move in excitement and joy versus I didn't make a sale. So the biggest thing that I've been able to notice, help, and deliver myself through and help also deliver other people through, first things first, is especially a believer, not to force my beliefs on anyone else, but I knew strongly, God, I surrender my fears to you. I knew strongly that I surrender my doubts, and I acknowledged that he could take better care of me than I could take care of myself. Okay. And I also had to remember that if I'm lacking gratitude in my situation, right, as a brand new agent, why am I lacking gratitude? Well, maybe it's because I'm focused on only self. So if I can take the focus off self and place it on something else, I will be filled with gratitude. So I don't think it's a numbers thing for a new agent. I don't think it's a dialing thing for a new agent. I believe that it's the belief. I believe that it's having grace in self, believing that, because they saw Kaitlyn or somebody else like a Michael or a Clark Stanley, doing 40 grand in a month, that as a brand new agent, they're supposed to do that too. I wish, and I continue to wish for teams, for people, and for individuals, if you're hearing this, even if life insurance isn't your route, you have to be patient with self. If you really, really, really want to go after success, as a brand new agent, we're talking about the ladies and the women that I've connected to. If you really want to reach 20,000 in sales, 30,000 in sales, as a part-time worker, as a part-time nurse, to be able to transition full-time, for one, you really have to be disciplined. Okay. As we're not of this world, we're just in this world. And while everyone else is of the world and not moving in discipline, lady or gentleman, I need you to be in this world and not of this world, sir, lady. And I need you to do what's going to be best for you. And I've shared with you, because we have a duplicable system. We get leads, we contact them, we go through the process, we get a schedule 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. It's not that. It's the free things that I believe that we really have to conquer in on. That's the belief, that's the faith, that's the integrity in self. Stop telling yourself you're going to show up today and you don't do it. And once we can identify all of those hurdles, I believe it can take them to those next transitions that they need to really win in the business sales side of things.
It's so cool to watch you in this interview. You're real. I see the gratitude. I just see it on you. And then when we talk about the business side, I hear the command. It is so cool to see. And you're like, sir, ma'am, this is what you have to do. If you're going to be successful, this is what you have to do. And you speak with an authority in this. You referenced it earlier. You said you run your house like a business. You have command. You said a phrase, actually. You said, I don't remember what it was. I am in my house. I am in
My four
something.
walls.
And
The four
what was it?
walls. Was it the
Yeah.
four walls?
Yeah. You said something about it's how you lead your home specifically. And if you're in the podcast and we don't mention it, go back and listen because I want you to hear it. It was how she referenced it. She said, it was almost control and command, but it wasn't that. I wish I caught it. Maybe you remember, but it was kind of a catchphrase that you say, it sounded like.
I control demand. No, I don't want to try. We'll go back.
That's okay. Yeah, go back and listen because it was important. I want you to see it. There's another thing that you've repeated multiple times that I want to make sure we land on. Tell me more about integrity and self. What do you mean by that?
Wow. Well, I believe that it can mean a lot of things for a lot of people. So, for example, if I know, and I'm going to give a couple, just a couple for the podcast viewers, but if I know I'm a follower of Christ, right, and I know that I desire to be just like him, right, I desire to walk like him, talk like him, sound like him, think and believe and treat others like him. But if I was moving in a different attitude than all those things I stated, I'm not having integrity in myself. Okay. Having integrity in self will help boost your confidence levels when it comes down to be an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and or somebody that desires to grow at a very high level in every area of their life, not just financially, but energetically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. It's going to require to have confidence, but you can't have confidence until you have integrity in self. So as a new agent, I might come into this, I need to be confident to get on the phones. I need to be confident to talk to Chris in person. Like, actually, no, you just have to have integrity in self and just do it. It will build the confidence. So like talking to you when I met you at the fall meet for the very first time last year, like it could be nerve wracking talking to a Life Insurance Academy host, right? And if I were to tell myself like, oh, like I want to be this confident person, well, I'll wait till I'm confident to say hi to him and approach him and ask him how he's doing. But instead, if I can just have integrity in self and do what I said I want, if I want to make money in the industry of life insurance, then I have to have integrity and just do it. Integrity in self is so important.
Would you say integrity in self? Because I feel like it's such a strong thing to anchor into. Yeah. Would you say it's on some level it's doing what you say you're going to do, but it's doing what you believe it's doing the actions of the person who you believe you are?
Yes.
That's probably more true than just doing what you say you're going to do.
I believe that. You're absolutely right. I love how you said that better. You framed it a lot better. I believe that is good. Yes.
And if there's a takeaway that you're listening, and maybe you're a single mom and you're just trying to figure this out, the thing I want you to see for this, and I believe Kaitlyn wants you to see, is there is a way forward. That we live in an incredible time. You can be at home and make calls and serve families. You don't have to go out in the dark and knock on doors.
No.
You have more technology and tools available to you than any other time in history to make a difference in your life. But you have to believe you are the person who can make that difference.
Yes.
Did I sum that up pretty good?
Yes.
Look
yes.
at us. You're a heck of a team.
Yeah, we are an amazing team.
As we wrap, Kaitlyn, one of the things I pay attention to what people say, and I'm curious why you say this. You say fam, like, hey fam, like, I'm just curious. I want to know what you believe about that and why you say that.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I believe that comes from me wanting individuals to feel welcomed and like, this isn't mine, this is ours. You know, we're family. I'm no different than you, and you're no different than me. And I just believe strongly that, in my opinion, if people hear that word like family, like, wow, like we're a family, like it's not just about you and your success and what you created, like, no, it's us. So I think that's where that comes from. if I were to think about
Have anybody
it.
asked you that before?
No.
Well, I like it. I like it because I think there are a lot of people, and I'm hoping there's a handful of people who are listening to the podcast where that hasn't been a great experience for them. And, when they hear somebody who's talking about a belief in yourself to be able to have something you've never had and you're worthy of it. And if that's what families speak to, that's what a family does. And I believe that maybe Kaitlyn would be a good family member to you.
I think so.
I believe so too.
You.
So, and wrapping up today's podcast, thank you so much. Great value. Like, I am encouraged from this podcast. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, there's some really good stuff where I'm like, you made my day. That was really cool.
Thank you.
As we wrap, what is the best way to contact you? I know you're on Instagram. Maybe you can share that. What is the best way to reach out to Kaitlyn Barber?
Absolutely. So you guys can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Collective Prosperity Firm. Collective Prosperity just means collectively we are prospering. And we do have that slogan, many hands, one vision. And what that means family, is there's many of us. Me and Chris right now, we already have 4 hands together, me and him. We have 4 hands.
That's right.
And we could do a lot together with those many hands, but we all have one vision, a vision of impact, a vision of changing the trajectory of our family trees, the vision of serving, the vision of being a good steward, and just listening and being there for others and doing what we would want somebody else to do for us, and being like Jesus if you're a believer. And so, yes, you can follow me, guys, at Collective Prosperity Firm. Find me on Instagram or Facebook. And also, if you are interested in connecting with me, maybe you want to have a conversation with me. Maybe you just want to say hello and give me a little bit of a story about yourself and what you've experienced, and to see how I could possibly help you overcome that. I would like for you to write this number down, text this number. That number, you guys ready? 863-242-4958. I'm going to repeat that one more time. If you want to get in contact with me, have a conversation, just text me the word Life Insurance Academy to 863-242-4958. And Chris, I appreciate you. Thank you again.
Thank you. And we'll have you back. It was great to connect with you. I think you gave a lot of food for thought, and I can't wait to have you on again to see the growth that you've gone through. And I do. But we'll wrap with this one question. Okay. What is the next area of growth for you? Like, what is your, like, where are you right now, and you're hoping to see in the next 6 months?
I love this question. I'm desiring to grow more in my leadership and my discipline. If I could just be honorable, vulnerable, and transparent. I want to continue to grow inside of my leadership, as well as inside of, what was the word I just said?
Discipline.
Discipline. There we go. So I believe that with that, I can grow very far, and I can serve more and have more of an impact. But it all starts with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that personally myself, like reaching out to some folks who can help me along the way as well, because you can't do it alone. If you find yourself on this journey, you're trying to figure out, you're on the front side. I know you're having a big impact on nurses. I know there's a lot of nurses out there who are working ridiculous hours, feel like they're not getting paid what they're worth, and they're looking for an opportunity. Great resource here to have that conversation. So thank you so much, KB, for being on the podcast, and we'll have you back.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. See you next time.
If you are getting value from Life Insurance Academy, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I think we're at like 60% of our viewers aren't subscribed. So hit that subscribe button. Also, leave a comment down below. If you got some questions, maybe you have a thought for KB, I think that'd be great to share. So engage. We're here for you guys, and we will see you on the next Life Insurance Academy podcast. See you then.